Hello and welcome to the Wizards Within. This is Sprinkles. I'm one of your hosts today, and we have Jan King, our other host, and I'm just going to turn it right over to Jan. Jan? Oh, Jan, are you on mute? Hold on. Sorry. Oh, where'd you go?
Here I am.
I'm sorry. I think so. I'm sorry. It's had a habit. Not habit to do that to you, but habit to mute you. I'm sorry. But hey, what a way to start a show, huh? Jan?
Yes.
Oh,
that's
okay.
terrific. I wondered why I couldn't do anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
No, it's not a problem.
Okay. Well, hello, Jan. How are you? Jan, it's very slow coming from you. Where are you?
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
I know, but I'm getting double and triple sounds from you. Different.
Oh,
I can hear you. Can you hear
one
me?
of the things. If you're on YouTube or on Zoom, you got to probably close off one because your mic is going in both places. You know what I mean? You're listening both on the YouTube and you're listening both in Zoom.
Okay, I'm clicking it off.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
This is Verizon. Your bill is due.
I thought, I'm hearing like all these voices from Sprinkles. Oh my gosh, they were coming from all different directions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was probably because I both open.
Yeah, well, I wonder where Mercury is.
Mercury is not retrograde, okay? Yeah.
Well, it should be the way that things have been going.
Well, you did play the music.
Oh, yeah.
I said the music did sound good.
Oh, well, thank you.
It did. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just going to go over the quick new moon,
okay.
Some insights, and then we'll go on from there. Hope everyone's having a bright and shiny day like I am, since I've joined Sprinkles and Peg on Wizards Within. Here's some, following this little blurb about the new moon, Peg Jones will join with us, and we'll talk about Akashic Records, and we'll go more into that as we go along. Right now, that will be quite interesting, and I'm sure insightful.
Yes.
Don't you think, Sprinkles?
I definitely think so.
So anyway, the new moon in Gemini arrived today at 3:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight and 12:44 p.m. Pacific Daylight. And when did it come to you, Miss Arizona?
I don't know.
Are you 2 hours away or 3?
I'm 3.
So it's 12:44 p.m.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay. So, and it's 22 degrees, 44 minutes. So basically 23 degrees for all intensive purposes. So what does this Gemini moon tell us? Well, as I said in my blog post, it's the time to think before you speak. Since Gemini is about ideas, communication, and thoughts, but there's a couple little things going on that might make Gemini a little bit more emotional and a little bit different than usual. So, and anyone who is a Gemini or has prominent Gemini planets, you know, like other than the sun or the ascendant, the moon or Mars, Venus, Mercury, could have some effect here. And if you do have those planets in Gemini, most of the time you're a book lover, you love to write, and basically you'll spend time just being some kind of student.
What degree was that again, please?
22 degrees and 44 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Do you have anything there?
No, I'm looking at my husband's chart because he's got Gemini in his 5th house, just approaching the 6th house. He's got it at 25. Saturn is there. So, but he's not being affected though, right?
What is Saturn in Gemini, you said?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that if he's at 25, then yes, he would. The moon is hitting his Saturn, which makes him more serious. He's probably not as.
How can he be serious around me? You're only with me a couple hours.
Well, he may make you serious.
Oh, okay.
He might have that kind of effect upon you.
Okay.
Or maybe not. But that's what it sounds like. If his Saturn is in Gemini right now, no, I don't think it's affecting you because you're not Gemini. But the thing is, his emotions might be more serious. He might be more focused in his communication. Okay. Even though with Saturn there, he probably is very focused. Mm-hmm. But the moon his emotions might be more serious.
Oh, okay.
So in the bottom line,
I get it. Don't
you got it?
Don't show him any of the bills.
No, not right now.
I'm not.
So Gemini types, like if you know any Geminis, sun signs, or even at rising, my rising sign is Gemini. So, so obviously I picked a good night to talk about Moon and Gemini coming right into my first house. So obviously I'm loving to chat tonight. I could argue too. I could debate.
And laugh and giggle.
I won't promise. Gemini types are usually, what should I say, curious. And I'm not saying everybody else isn't, but it depends on where it falls in your chart. That's where you probably would be curious. Yeah. So if it fell in your, where does it fall in your house, in your chart?
In my chart?
Yeah. Gemini.
Oops, that's not me.
4th house?
Yes.
4th house.
4th house. It starts at in the 3rd.
No, but the 22 is probably in the 4th. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that means that you're
serious about my home.
You like to talk about things around. Well, you do like to talk about things around the house, about doing things and getting other people to do things around your house.
Yeah.
But also it's about your sort of like your foundation. Maybe it could be even your mom or dad or your childhood. Like the foundation of your life was sort of more like intellectual kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how true that is, but that's what it tend to tell me. And let's see. So this new moon may find everyone talking a bit much. And I'm trying to...
Me more than normal. Oh, gosh. You're so funny.
I can't help it. What you do?
I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did.
No, I'm right here.
It's off the cuff. How can you tell? Well, just to digress for a moment, when you said something and we talked originally, and you let me know it was off the cuff, it didn't even dawn on me until we started talking, and I'm thinking, how could I not be off the cuff?
That's right. Because it's in the moment. You see, it's in the moment.
It is in the moment. Yes, it is. So it's now's the time to listen, but not to the words, but to the expression that is behind the words, the feelings that come from it.
Yes.
Because you might learn more about that individual or what's going on rather than just listening to the words. So this is because Mercury's in Cancer at the moment, and that it's in like Mercury rules Gemini and the moon rules Cancer. So it's like mutual reception.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So there is a tie there. So it makes it a little more intense in that particular way. And the emotions behind the words are what's present, of course, and there's a lot of intuition coming through right now. So whoever out there is listening, and if you're really into your intuition, your ability to intuit, then this is a good time, because you'll begin to get things that you maybe didn't get before if you just pay attention and like be still.
So we can just about, how could we put this? The intent behind the words, because you can pick up those expressions, you can pick up what's taking place. Got it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's a time to really listen to what you feel inside, your inner voice. Mm-hmm. But also don't let the external voices, be hidden also. You have to bring those out too. So it's almost looking at both sides before you make a decision. Mm-hmm. And one other thing, are you in denial about anything? Is anybody out there in denial? Because this is a time when you're going to find yourself looking at that part of you. And it could bring about a major turning point in the next, because the new moon rule is really in effect until the next new moon, which is a month away. But the thing is, and that's an eclipse. So there's a lot going on, but there could be something going on within many and bring some kind of turning point with this new moon. Mm. So be prepared, and also pay attention to it, because it's not going to be easy to see. Mm-hmm. Also with this new moon, there may be a door opened, and then all of a sudden, as the door opens, another door is revealed, and another door is revealed. So, and they might not even be open yet, but the thing is, what are all these doors? What are you going to do with them?
Bring the keys. Bring the keys, we'll get in.
But most of them, I think, will, when I think about it, when I was writing this, I was thinking that most of them will be open. Mm-hmm. And so open the door, the one door, and all of a sudden you see another door open, and then another door open. So where are you going? Where are you heading? So it's almost like you have to make a decision, mm-hmm. Okay? Because it's almost like if you make the decision, you don't have to move on it yet, but sometimes it's good to make a decision if you see that door open.
Yes.
Okay? And maybe not, you don't have to move on it, you don't have to move forward with it, because you're not going to want to, because Mercury, the shadow of Mercury going retrograde is almost upon us. Oh. And it goes retrograde in July, and then the 3 upcoming eclipses are in July and August.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So we're just going to hide.
Oh. Well, I'm going to peek in the doors and find out what's in there.
I think that would be a grand idea.
I can peek. Yeah.
I think it would be great, because I think that it's also about, because Peg will be talking about the Akashic Records.
Yes.
And I think this new moon also has some kind of healing modality energy behind it, because as this is happening, there's also Chiron, the wounded healer, is in the background and squaring Saturn, I believe. And no, Mercury opposing Saturn. Mercury squaring Chiron and opposing Saturn, which means that something that needs to be healed may come up. And as Peg talks about the Akashic Records, as far as I know, Akashic can help you heal. So I think it's a tie in there that we brought her in, that she's going to speak tonight about the Akashic Records, because this is the perfect time to bring about that healing. And it may not happen immediately, but it will, at least you'll look at it and say, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can walk through this. Hey, I did this and this and this, and I am wounded, but I'm going to walk through it. And now I feel a lot better, and I can move forward. So there you go. I have one other thing I can say. If you have a yellow candle, I read this someplace a long time ago. If you have a yellow candle, carve her name on it and anoint it with sandalwood or frankincense oil, and say the following. I ask to find the internal light of my inspiration. I wish for the universe to aid me, to pray that I may find the strength to take chances with my inventiveness. And then I attain the gratitude that I wish. There you go.
Very nice. So do you want to invite our lovely guest in?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Now I'd like to introduce Peg Jones, who's joining us, Sprinkles and me tonight, for talking about Akashic Records and all the good things that happen by accessing them.
Hello, everyone. Nice
Hi.
to be here. So what would you like to know about the Akashic Records?
Hello, Peg. Sorry, I was
there.
in the midst of doing things. Okay. We want to know it all. What do you mean, what do we want to know? We want to
know everything.
Anything specific?
Okay. Yes. I would like to know, is this sort of like a deep meditation kind of thing? And I have another question, which is, how long did it take you to visit with the Akashic Records?
Well, you can visit them as often as you want.
Oh.
You know, you can open them, ask a question, close them, go for a day, go for 5 hours, ask another question if you have a question. I don't do that, but you can do that if you, you can do it whenever you want to. The way I was taught through Linda Howe was to use the pathway prayer, and you say that, and then you ask your questions, especially if they're for yourself. You can do your own Akashic Records, but you can also open the Akashic Records of someone that might be wanting to know something within their Akashic Records. We cannot, like, I could not go into the Akashic Records of your husband's Pat, and you can't particularly ask about his Akashic Records, but if there is, if there's something you wanted to know, and you wanted to know, like, how you could help him in some way, they might be able to go into your Akashic Records and tell you how that could be done. But as a rule, we only read our own, or we read as a practitioner, I would read the records of yours only. And there really isn't a meditation. It's the prayer, the pathway prayer that was given, and that I guess Linda had been given when she went into her Akashic Records, when she was asked to kind of bring forth this information, because the Akashic Records weren't widely known to people. It was pretty much hidden for years and years, basically reserved for higher spiritual people. And so they've really, I guess, well, maybe since the 90s, I think that people have used them a lot sooner, but they really came into the forefront more so in the 90s, and then really publicly, especially from the timeline of Linda's kind of sharing. She really brought them out in, I think, the 90s and the 2000s, early 2000s, and her first book was published either 208 or 209, I think 208, and the name of that book was How to Access Share Akashic Records. And it actually just walks you through exactly what they are and and what the process is, gives you the prayers, and then and the types of questions that you can ask for yourself, for someone else. And it talks a little bit about ancestral healing. And her second book was all about healing. And, all kinds of healing, physical healing, emotional, spiritual, ancestral, I think all aspects of healing that there are. So the way I was taught, she basically told us the type of questions that we could ask and that were the best to ask, which were kind of like more open-ended, because if you ask like a yes or a no question, you'll get a yes or no answer, because the masters and teachers of the Akashic Records are pretty precise. They're like, yeah, no, and that's all that they'll say. So when you ask a more open-ended question, it's a lot easier.
I have a question, Peg.
Sure.
You mentioned the prayers. Now, is there more than one prayer, and now are they just used for particular things or particular areas that they're used?
Well, there's an opening prayer and there's a closing prayer. I know that there are some practitioners, authors, written books of the way they access the Akashic Records. They have different prayers for a lot of different things like goodness, the energy, different things like that. And there's there's a lot of different ways that you can access according to and share their way. But there are also people that can just access them automatically. So it's it's a matter of how you want to, I guess, how you choose to do it. I know there's one I had listened to a podcast, and she basically had like certain phrases that you could say and you would be able to access them, and they were good. I mean, I like that way because I did try it too. So yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. Do you take a break now and come back and we'll continue with this, or do you want to?
Yeah, I can talk about exactly what the Akashic Record is, kind of some of the history and why, how they kind of come about. So yeah, I'll be glad to come back.
Okay, well, hold on to your seat, folks. We will be right back.
Jan King back with Sprinkles Nixon. We welcome Peg Jones back, and I have a question.
Sure.
So, by accessing the Akashic Records, does this help you to bring about like transformation or transmutation of certain like things that have gone on in the past that you could fix now, or you could just, like if you have certain patterns, we all have certain patterns that we bring forward through our life in different aspects. And so if it's something that happened, eons ago, and you're still doing the same thing. So if you access this and find out about this, then you can actually walk through it and transmute it.
Yes, because, basically, exactly. You can walk through it, understand it, kind of like in an observing mode, and then just, kind of say, okay, I understand that. And just say, well, maybe how can I change that?
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Maybe there's some, inner child work to do or something.
Yes. Okay.
Different things like that. And, sometimes, a lot of the times we do things and we're finding that it no longer serves us, and it might be something that was, kind of like the way maybe the women in the family were treated or acted. And, and there could be a pattern that someone may find because of those factors, from the past, and maybe even in the present too, you may.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. It can also tell you like the types of past lives that you might have had too. In your past life, if you want to know. But it can also help you with your future and with your present. And when I say your future, because they say this too, it's future possibilities,
Of course.
Because we all have free will. And so, but it can assist you. Just, I suppose, like any other type of reading on some level, when it's kind of a present or past, but you might be able to get more clarification. You may have always had this interest in creativity of some sort, and you just, and you are beginning, but you're wondering if it's something that is a possibility, so they could maybe give you some insight about that, to kind of help you. And I find them to be helpful.
Can I ask you, it just popped in my head. What about if you're going in a certain direction, but you're not sure, it could be for anybody, your sole purpose, I mean, I still don't know what it is. After all these years.
And in a general way, I think they usually say it's what you're most passionate about.
Is that what? Yeah, I've heard that, and I tell people that, but I don't. Do I believe that? Well, yeah, I guess to a point. But I just was curious as to if you found when you gave readings and with the Akashic Records, did anyone ever ask this? Did they ever,
quite often.
Yeah.
Sometimes like what you are doing, like what you enjoy doing now, could be something that you did in a past life, and it was something that, you were quite good at, you enjoyed, or your grandmother could have, or your great grandmother could have, done the same thing. Or
I see. I understand.
Okay.
Thank you. That helped.
Okay, good.
Very interesting. Does it? What about the healing aspect of it? How does that kind of work? This.
Well, there's a couple of ways. I'm just going to bring this up.
But you see, Sprinkles reads your mind.
I do not.
And our horoscope is great. So we got to read other minds sometimes.
Yeah.
But like I've had readings where a person has a situation, and they, and it's kind of like they just kind of tell like like it is, and what's going on, what's happening, how they feel, just everything about it. And then what you can do is kind of repeat back to them and maybe give like a little bit of insight, and then kind of just then like the third part is to like actually is to like give almost like an actual channeling of what the masters, teachers, and loved ones may have to say about the situation. I mean, that's in a very simplistic step, but it's kind of how it can be done. They can maybe like if there's guilt or anger involved, they can maybe help you to understand, what all that what all that is, and kind of help you to see it in a different light. So
I question: if say someone's afraid of height, okay, and they want to know why this is happening with them, would the Akashic records be able to state that? Like something from a past life is something from a past life issue or something?
Yeah. I think that they might be able to help with that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you during your class with Linda? How long did it take you to do it the first time for yourself, for the first time to go there?
Like how long is a reading?
No. How? Because you do Akashic readings, but how in your learning with Linda, how long did it take you to finally do your first reading, Akashic reading?
Okay, well, I had she came to Salem, Mass for a weekend back in 2010, and so it was a whole weekend type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, and she talked about it, and then we would practice different aspects of the Akashic record. First we would like open them, say the prayer, open them for ourselves, ask a question, and then maybe close them. And then we do it again. And then maybe she talked some more about different aspects, and we would practice on each other, or we would practice on ourselves.
Uh-huh.
So it was like from Friday night to Sunday, late Sunday afternoon. And then I went to, in 2014, she had a weekend class too in another part of Massachusetts. And it was for her third book, and I don't have it with me in front of me. But it wasn't published yet when she had it. So we were kind of like a test group almost, and testing some of the things in the book. And it was good because it was more about life now, your life now, issues you want clear, or you want to understand more, and basically the idea of going out into the world and kind of I don't know, kind of like sharing, or just like having, this is how, like having an understanding of things in your Akashic record, and like, and kind of going beyond, so being more out there in working with people, and, in whatever it is you do. whether it's some type of practice or, or whatever, or a skill that you have or something. But it's basically, almost being like stewards, of going out and kind of sharing, who you are in a wholesome way. Basically, I mean, that's really kind of weak in what I'm saying because I haven't looked at the book lately, but it's more like your life now, dealing with things in your life now, like asking questions about your purpose, your personal purpose, and then going out and kind of doing what it is you want to do.
Okay. I just want to let the listeners know out there that if you'd like to ex-peg a question, either come to our chat rooms. There's 2 different ones, one on YouTube and one on Zoom. And you can call in as well. And the number is 1-669-900-6833. That's 1-669-900-6833. She would love some questions. If you're out there,
I would. Yeah.
I have a question. I'm not hiding. I have a question. Do you feel that by accessing the Akashic Records that you can clear off some karmic situations that may arise in your current life? You know what I'm saying? That maybe you know something in this lifetime is there. That it must be karmic, but is there some way that you could access?
Well, I think I kind of said that, but it's kind of like acknowledging. Well, this must be karma.
Oh,
and I don't have to sit in this karma. I can go and go on.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear about that. Okay.
Yeah. No. And I think that I can get more information about that too. But that's basically it's not saying I was this and and
no.
So it's. And so that's why I'm like that, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can clear that, from, getting past lives, getting a different type of past life reading,
Well, even if it's just a childhood thing too, that something happened in childhood and you don't remember it because you're blanked it out or whatever. But I think that it would show up also. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes. And many times, it's just, it's understanding what it is and maybe like if it's a reactionary type thing, like learning not to react, and just, kind of just going, beyond that. So, but also observing that maybe that's why too. So.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, I have Terry in the chat room, and she says, so would it be safe to say that it is a way to find inner wisdom also, or knowledge and growing?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah.
So, okay, if I was getting a reading and I would say, what is the wisdom that I have to seek out? Would that answer it, or not that kind of question? Or will they turn around and tell me, don't bother? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I think we all have wisdom. Yeah. I feel like they're saying you all have wisdom. It's just, understanding what that wisdom is. And it kind of grows with age too, because we have different types of understanding and clarity at different ages. Like have different understanding of life at 30 than at 70, or at 60. So the wisdom, they're saying the wisdom grows with you, and you can, we can all kind of think back, like when, we just, the stages of life, the stages of life from, kind of the young woman to the middle age to the crone, the kind of those three stages. And it's, I suppose men have it too, but it's not named that, and I don't know what it is named. But we do have different stages, and a lot of it has to do with the moon. So, so yeah, so I think it's kind of like old, you grow, it's like old wine, that kind of that saying, so so, but I think the Akashic Records can help you focus on where some of your wisdom came from, or what that would, like if it's healing, if it's, if it's, I don't know, if it's reading, if it's mediumship, if it's philosophy, or if it's writing, so, they definitely help you with that.
Okay, I'm going to turn the mic on because Terry has some more questions for you. So it's best that we can hear her and instead of my expressing her thoughts. Okay, hello, Terry, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Terry.
Oh, hi, Terry.
So I just wanted to ask, basically, Peg. It's basically like understanding or getting, your self-truth, or understanding your true self.
It is. It's your vibrational record on Earth. Okay, and it's kind of the in how the how it's your light vibration on Earth, and so it's your past, present, and possible futures on life. The lives that you've lived, the life that you're living, and all that. And as we know, we can have lots of different lives. So
makes pure sense.
Interesting, very interesting. So, what was your mentor's name again? Because I'd like to find her books and go over that myself.
Yeah, Linda Howe. She's from the Center for Akashic Records. That's her center in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And she's
Peg,
right.
I'm sorry, Peg. Do you know, I just, right before the show, I just saw she had something online. I don't know whether it's like a part of her book. I don't know which book. I didn't even get a chance. I just saw it and I clicked on it and I saw it was some kind of a little book, and I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I'm just saying that, so you might go maybe Sprinkles will want to go look at it, and I'm going to go look at it too.
Yeah. Yes.
What color? Orange, blue?
I don't know. It just showed the you could download it, and I didn't download it.
Oh, you could download. Oh, maybe it's a new ebook or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I really didn't pay attention. It had to do with the Akashic, and I saw that it was Linda Howe. I remember you saying that in your notes, and I just thought, well, what is this? Because I was looking for somebody else, a different author for something else, and she just popped up, and I'm thinking,
yeah. Yeah,
because
that's her.
It must have been because I was looking for something past life, and it had to do with it had nothing to do with Akashic Records, but the thing is, it had to do with something she must have mentioned in this download, and I thought,
okay.
So I didn't even, like I said, I didn't look at it yet, but I thought, well, why don't I mention it? So whatever, I'm not sure if it's a long thing or if it's just a short little.
Yeah. Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I have her on Facebook. So.
Me too. Okay, so in kind of in summary, if you can Peg, the whole thing of the Akashic Records, and the, this must, like you said, must go back eons of time. So, uh, what is the best thing to do? If you're not, let me put it this way: if you're not able to meditate, or you don't think you can meditate, I think everybody can meditate. They just don't know they're doing it sometimes. But well, some of them don't. They be meditating and they don't. They're sitting there thinking quietly, and it's like their mind is
Sometimes you can just write the question, like you could say your prayer, write the question, and then write what you're hearing.
Oh.
Kind of like when you might do with a guide or
yes,
angel or loved one or whatever. Yeah, you can do the same thing, and that's one of the things that we were taught that I didn't talk about. But yeah, that's kind of what we did that week, those weekends too, was write things. Write questions out. Yeah. So and yeah, so.
All right. Do you picture in your mind you're in this beautiful library?
I do, yeah, and I have all these men with white hair around me. and the ceiling's tall, and it's those big thick library thing, tables that we had when we were growing up, and and they're just sitting there staring at me. The question is next. Okay. But I've also seen angels too.
Oh.
And and there's a book that talks about the angels in the Akashic Records. And when you think about it, it makes sense because the Akashic Records are a lot like the Kabbalah, and there's like 73 angels connected with the Kabbalah. It kind of depends on the belief, I guess, but I think that they're pretty much the same. But the Akashic Records, from what from some people, just talk about these masters, teachers, and loved ones that might be present. And it's usually the same masters and teachers, but I have a funny feeling the loved ones could be a little bit different each time too. So but they may not be either.
Well, again, because there's many different lives, and if it's recording our lives, let's say somebody was born as the only child in the family, and then they come to find out that they're in this lifetime they're in a huge family. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, that could very well be, or they could be a man. If they're a woman now, they could be a man back then too, or they could, you have different lives, you could be rich, you could be poor, you could be kind, nice, mean, pain in the butt, it's life, I guess.
So with the Akashic Records, you could look to the future, and you could also almost a past life regression kind of thing, sort of, depending on what your question is. Is that correct? Between the future and the past. What about the present?
I think right, and yeah, you can talk about the present. Like you could ask a question about, I know I always ask a question when I was writing my book about my book, and I basically got the same answer, just write the book.
Oh,
I'm sure you did. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
They do that.
They're not going to tell you how to live your life. They're not going to tell you
that's true
what to do. They're not going to foretell your future. And I find that some people get rather upset about that, but that's okay. They just really don't. They sometimes we just want all the answers laid on the table, but what they're going to give us is possibilities, reasons, ideas of how you can do things, and maybe what you need to concentrate on, what you think you need to concentrate on, like for your present, So, that's really kind of about it, I think.
Okay, well, we have 4 minutes, and I would like you to let everybody know what is happening now with you and the OTCR.
Okay, well, I have been I have been basically asked by my guides, my angels, to get back on the radio again, and it's my pleasure that I'm going to be starting on Tuesday. And the name of the show is a bit different. It's called The Universe Whispers, a 111, and it's gonna be all aspects of spirituality and healing, and I'm going to be having different people that do different types of healing, different types of channeling, and I'm going to be introducing my light language and kind of my story on that, and hope to have some more light language practitioners, authors, to come on too and to talk about it also. But it's going to be all kinds of wellness types things and channeling, and it's kind of like it's just kind of maybe a new way of looking at some things or understanding some things that maybe some of us really didn't know a whole lot about. So just going to take it day by day or by week. But the first month, I probably am going to be doing most of the talking about different subject areas, and then I'm lining up some guests now. And and I also want to talk about shamanism too. So see what I can find out about finding some people to come and talk about that.
Wow, interesting. Very interesting. So be sure to check out the announcements when Peggy's show is, and it's on Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's called, it is called what?
The Universe Whispers.
Yes, 111. The Universe Whispers, 111. Jan, you have any last words? You're hanging in there?
New moon energy.
Yes.
Keep your cool and find your inspiration.
Yes. Don't show you how to build. All right. So let's live the night.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you. Very much interesting. Very interesting. Jan, one last thing with you. Did you get Akashic Records?
Did I do them?
Yes.
No, I only asked the question. No,
Okay.
I haven't done it.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's it for us to learn. Because I know I'm interested. I'll probably pull you in, Jan. So. Hang on. Go
Yeah,
for
you
a
will.
ride.
I know you will.
All right, everybody. Good night. See you next week.
Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
it may sound, when I'm still, things seem to come around.